What's up, everybody? Tyson Roush. Let's talk Jets. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Thank you to everybody who watched the Senior Bowl with us. We had a lot of fun. Obviously, we get easily distracted, but we appreciate everybody joining us and calling in on Tuesday nights. One of the biggest stories around the Senior Bowl for me was obviously the Jets had a phenomenal opportunity to get firsthand access to all these players for the upcoming draft. I mean, you can see them in the meeting rooms, you can see them on the practice field, you can see them during the games, how they react to coaching, what their mindset is, and that was just pivotal for this organization that's putting such a premium on the draft. But the other thing that came out of this, to me, probably more importantly, is Robert Saleh and his coaching staff are really starting to impress a lot of people. Now, when he was first hired here, like with the Jets, it was just like he had to get rid of the stench of Adam Gase and all the losing and all the problems and all the dysfunction. And early on, it wasn't easy because he was in, we've talked about it many times. New coach, new quarterback, new staff, so much newness, a lot of very young, very inexperienced. And along the way, they started to improve. They started to find their way. They started to find their personality. They started to find their attitude. They started to establish their culture. And with the culture they're establishing now, and it's prominent, I mean, you could see it everywhere, is they want football players that love the game of football. And he says it over and over and over. Leon Washington says it. They all say it. The coaching staff, as a staff, they're all saying the same thing. We want guys that play the game for the game, that love the game of football, love it for what it is, the sport, the competition, the battle, not what it can do for you. And that is truly how you change the culture of an organization and the team. That's how you clean out your locker room when everybody's fighting for one another. We always talked about how teams, they would always draft a lot of captains and this and that. It didn't really work out. But if you get those, hard-nosed, tough, gritty guys that want to compete day in and day out, that just resonates throughout the locker room, throughout your organization, and it'll translate to wins on the field. So now you see this young Jets coaching staff is leaving an impression on all these seniors that were at the game. They left an impression on all the guys last year, and that's going to be your marketing tool going forward. Listen, the Jets only had 4 wins, which is fine, but the perception is going to be they're slowly going to be a team on the rise. And the rise will be when you have players that want to come play for Robert Saleh. That's, they want to say, what? I love his energy. I love his passion. He's a player's coach. He's fair, but it's just, that's how you legitimately change your culture, with his mindset, his approach, his enthusiasm, and then everybody buying in. And then what you do is along the way, you weed out guys that don't fit your mold. And it may not be a popular decision. Like in the past, obviously with football, you have to make financial decisions. But a lot of times you say, you're a very good player, but you don't bring to the table what we want, and you have to go. So we know what we always joked around, like what a play like a Jet is, and all these other different little slogans we always used. All gas, no brake. We made fun of that, but now it's like you're starting to see what it is. And I mean, it's impressive to watch, because you even watch on social media now. People love Ron Middleton. You love his passion, and the players are all gravitating to the Jets coaching staff, and that is going to, that kind of perception will slowly but surely go all across the NFL. It goes into college, where the Jets are no longer be a laughing stock. They're going to be, a destination people are actually interested in. So I'm excited, man. Like I really, it's very easy to be, right now we always joke around where it's like the Jets always win the offseason, they always win the draft, they always win free agency. But I think, honestly, if we're being very fair, and, and I'm as critical as anybody about the Jets, Coach Saleh and his staff are really doing a phenomenal job of starting to change the mindset. And you can see the progress they're making and where they want to be. Now, will that translate to 9 or 10 wins this season? I honestly have no idea. But I really think you could see the blueprint, you can see the building blocks, and you can see a lot of different things. Now, everybody wants to talk about the Jets should follow the Bengals' path and everything else. And listen, I agree. Like, they're a young team. You build the team around the offense. You support Zach Wilson as much as humanly possible. If you look at the Bengals, they had, 3 or 4 good receivers, a good tight end, good running back, offensive line struggle, but you gave him weapons. You gave Joe Burrow all the weapons in the world. But that applies to every young quarterback on the rise. Justin Herbert's got a lot of good weapons. Josh Allen, they gave him Stephon Diggs, and a lot of, the offense that catered to him. So I think the Jets have learned a lot this offseason and this season, and I think we're starting to see it all play out, and it's hard to not be excited. I think the expectations are going to increase, as they should. There's pressure on Joe Douglas to bring in playmakers, but I think this could all happen, and I think I'm just really encouraged. And the more you listen to the feedback on this staff, especially this week from prominent analysts, young players, everything else, it's great. This is truly a good time that you think the Jets are finally heading the right direction, and good things are going to happen to the organization.